like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Man. Come on.
Yeah, the Arsenal legend. People deluded, I'm back again. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's blessed. First things first, we have to have manners. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. Now it's been confirmed Trossard is no longer an Arsenal player. He now plays for Besiktas. You know, I mean, I've said everything, you know. For me, Trossard is a cult hero. Like, in fact, better yet, he's a legend. You know, there's so much you could say about Mr. Leandro Trossard. Obviously, I'm 31, so when you get beyond the Patrick Vieira's, the Dennis Bergkamps, the Tony Adams, the Thierry Henrys, the conventional names, you know, I start to think of the Freddie Longbergs, the Ray Parlers, etc. And I think Trossard, for those that weren't there the last time we won the league, not this year, he's the modern day Freddie Longberg, man. The man was clutch. Not that Mikel Arteta's got the biggest of CVs at this moment, but where you look at the price and value for money, impact, all of that kind of jazz, Trossard's been our best attacker Mikel Arteta signed at this moment in time. So he's done that. Cult hero status. We all remember the West Ham game for, you know, VAR and Raya, and obviously Mr. Trossard, great player. You know, you could argue, you know, whether him or Martinelli need to leave. They're arguably both on borrowed time. It's, you know, I do think Trossard was consistent last season. I think he played a lot more football than he would have probably backed himself. We needed to upgrade on that position. And as much as I'm sad to see Trossard go, and obviously we need incomings, at the end of the day, you got to kind of sell where the price is right. Because right now, there'll be a lot of people that are saying, no, I don't sell Trossard. You know, obviously, if a year on from now, if he doesn't have a good season, we're going to sit there and go, oh, why didn't we take the 17, 18, 19, 20 odd million euros? So I am going to miss you, Trossard. You had that clutch gene. You, Mikel Merino and Kai Havertz, when it comes to clutch goals and clutch moments, big up Declan Rice. Out of the attackers, you don't have that. So you've been a legend for us. You're probably a legend. You've been a great serviceman, great value for money. Go and get your money in Besiktas. Go and get a bigger contract. Go and, you know, try a new experience. Big up yourself, man. You also had a good World Cup in what was disappointing for Belgium. But yeah, Trossard's gone. You know, we're still being linked with Bruno, Guimarães and Tzolis and Bacola and Rodgers. And I think, you know, I think I speak for any Arsenal fan. Fucking link us with some other names, man. Just tell me for the sake of it, Mbappe, Vinicius, Yamal, Lionel Messi are joining us. It's getting boring talking about the same names, people, and it is what it is. Karma, good day to you and everyone else. It's been a pleasure, Trossard, as Nuances has said there, man. Hope I'm first here. You're not first, but it's a pleasure for you here nonetheless, man. Appreciate the desire there, man. Big up yourselves, man, because without the chat, the members, the moderators, and all of the community and those watching on the replay, things dead in it. So I appreciate you. Make sure you're smashing the likes and that. 2-3, my guy. One of the people actually bucked. Was it the parade? I don't know if it was the parade, if it was the Tuesday or the Sunday, but either way, I backed you in the flesh. Hyper, appreciate you. Rev, appreciate you. Seeing the Athletic reporting that Arsenal make Bruno contact Luke Edwards is a clown, ain't he? Who likes to cry about Newcastle players leaving, coming up with fake stories? I can't lie, yeah. I understand Newcastle fans if they're up in arms, but I don't even think it's a Newcastle fans thing. I think I said this yesterday. I think there's some journalists, Craig Hope comes to mind, Luke Edwards, couple of people in that regards, yeah. When it comes to Newcastle, they're the most upset. And again, I think referees and journalists are the most protected. You know, I'm not saying Craig Hope should get mad slate because there's a lot of people that didn't rate Jude Bellingham, but you know, us as YouTubers, you lot as content consumers and in your group chats, players, managers, we all get criticized. I think referees, you get where I'm going with this. Journalists never get pulled up on their BS, bro, because Jude Bellingham, for a number of reasons, this whole attitude stuff. We all know there's hints of racism where people talk about the guy, they villainize the guy, and then they have the cheek to celebrate him. And the ones that talk the most smoke about this individual sucking his nuts when he scores a brace and whatnot, people. But Jude Bellingham isn't the first. He's not going to be the last. 20 years from now, it's going to keep going. They love your rhythm, not your blues, you know, and it's not just a skin color thing. Jack Grealish, David Beckham comes to mind. The British media are the ones that, I don't know what's wrong with them, man. They hype up players. Then they crusade these players, and then they wonder why these men are awkward in interviews and give you the, I don't know the word, but the conventional kind of stories and whatnot, man. It's a joke in this nation, man, but it is what it is. I genuinely feel sad he's leaving, but he served us well. You would feel sad, didn't it? I feel a lot more sadder than I would have, maybe because we won the league, but it needed to happen. You just wish Trossard wasn't 31, he was 21. at the end of the day, him versus Martinelli, depending on who you speak to, I'd rather this one go or whatnot. You could argue, Martinelli's probably going to be priced out of a move. Whether I rate it or not, the market is mad. If Anthony Gordon's going for 60, 70, 80 odd, we need to be turning around and saying, yo, Martinelli's going for that. Martinelli's on a longer term contract. Martinelli's younger. He's probably got a bigger asking price. And all of those things. Where I think where Trossard's concerned, I'm sure he would have loved to stay at Arsenal, but I think he reckons, you know what? I've probably been on the bench more than I would have liked. A new left winger comes in, it's dark for me. Obviously, there's no better way than leaving on a high. He came to this country, bullied up everything with Brighton, got a name for himself, came to us, became a clutch hero, clutch kind of player, cult hero, won the Premier League. You might as well go somewhere you're going to play regular first team football. I don't know where I'm at. I'm actually kind of shocked that Trossard's gone to Besiktas, if I'm honest with you. No disrespect to Besiktas, because whether it's Besiktas, Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, and Greenwood's gone to Fenerbahce, Turkish football fans are mad, innit? Like, it must be mad playing in those kind of atmospheres. Obviously, it's a nice country to live. The way the Turkey tax kind of laws are is quite generous. You've got a good, you got a good wage, you've got a good length of contract, and you're going to play a lot of football, so it makes sense. I understand that. Maybe if he gave thought to going to Saudi or something. I reckon, and clearly it ain't gone as far as what we would have seen, but there must have been Premier League interest. Couldn't tell you what team, but there must have been a degree of Premier League interest. But maybe Trossard said, you know what, between Brighton and Arsenal, I've done my thing in it, really and truly, smashed the like button. What I would say, there's one person I need to thank, for Trossard at Arsenal. It's not Mikel Arteta, or it's not the fans. I have to thank Mikhail Mudryk, because you see, if we agreed a fee with you, we'd never get Trossard. Now, you never know. Mudryk could have signed for us and actually been amazing, but we can only deal with reality, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, it was the Tuesday. So, yeah, big up Trossard. Jen next door, one love. Big up Trossard. I appreciate you. Yo, DG, you need to do a stream with Roms where you pull up old tweets and repeatedly tell him, don't bread. He's running, man. Big up Roms, but he's running, man. 98, appreciate you, my guy, man. Like your guy rants. What are you referring to there? Killing it with the podcast appearances and that. We're willing. We're trying, man. It's an underbelly color thing with Jude. It is, but I see it with white players all the time, and this is one thing that pisses me off about sports. Yeah, one thing that pisses me off here is this bad attitude thing. Now, clearly, there's individuals that have bad attitudes, but I think bad attitude is saying someone's got a bad attitude. It's one of those things that can stick. If I say SI's got a bad attitude and you lot believe it and we keep running with it, how do we know he's not helping old ladies across the road, donating to charity and doing all of these things? It don't make sense. And then also, where you look at sports, all the best sportsmen have an edge as long as it stays in the remit on the pitch. No one can rise up when Jude Bellingham's been in the papers for anything mad. Yeah, cool. He let his passion show and whatnot. But all of these sportsmen have that edge. Ronaldo, Messi might not show it, but he's got that. You probably more see it in individual sports, Mike Tyson, tennis examples, etc. It's only in this country that people do things like this, people. And I can't lie, I think you need that edge. SI is a United fan, yeah. You bring up many a Man United fan, a Man United legend, an Arsenal legend, Chelsea legend, City legend, whatever. Rise up one of these players that don't have a chip on their shoulder. Tony Adams had it, where Arsenal's concerned. Vieira had it. Henry had it. They all have it. And you get where I'm going with it. Roy Keane had it, where United's concerned. But it's never going to stop. Jude Bellingham's not the first, and he's definitely not going to be the last, people. We all know what is going to happen if, God forbid, England don't win this competition. The same fate that happened with Rashford, Sancho, and Saka, And I find, if I was Jude, I can't lie, I might even not do interviews, because you lot made me the villain. Man was saying, don't take me on holiday, don't take me on the plane. He should be on holiday, not playing. And now you have the cheek to celebrate when I'm scoring. Suck your man. But yeah, anyways, Trossard left on a high. I wish him well. We better get an elite left winger, though, because he was a clutch player. We are going to miss Trossard. I don't know for elite left winger, because the left wing market's crazy. Like, the guys we're linked with, it becomes clear. Put the price, or meet the asking price fairly. You get the players. If not, scouts, do your job and go and find these players before they end up where they end up, and we're all wanting to sign them. Like, Bacola was at Lyon, Morgan Rogers was at Middlesbrough. I'm just saying random names. Bowen was in the Championship. Wharton was in the Championship. Elise was in the Championship. Krupi was in the second division in France. Alex Scott was in the lower leagues. Mo Salah was obviously there in Italy. Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne are in Germany. So do you find, I wouldn't, because all them examples I said, they're all different range, ages and profiles and whatnot. But so I wouldn't say unknown entities, but do you have to take a chance on these guys before they end up where they end up with the price tag to match? Because it becomes quite simple for me. Where Morgan Rogers and Bruno Guimaraes are concerned, cool. Do I think we can convince you Do I think we necessarily need to convince you? But do I think you're convinced on Arsenal's project? Yes. Do I think we like you? Yes. But at the end of the day, Newcastle and Aston Villa are within their rights to play hardball and be difficult, to get a deal done with them, if that makes sense, man. Burton needs to sign some of these big players. David Ornstein said, we're getting... DJ, have you got your shirt from KG? No, he ran away, bro. He ran away. Get onto him. Get onto him. Gets to play champs and get his bread. Well, such is life. We're going to... If Besiktas are in the Champions League, they're going to play us at the Emirates and Trossard will get a chance to say a proper goodbye. I remember watching Mudryk against Madrid and Celtic thinking he's going to be elite. You never really can tell sometimes. Probably needed to make a more intermediate step before Chelsea, and obviously what's happened at Chelsea's happened. But do you know when I knew Mudryk, it was dark for him? Because they played Liverpool and he went on this marauding run against Van Dijk and nothing happened. I remember when Arsenal fans were doing that with Nicolas Pepe. He was a generational hater of Bellingham, but now he's a flip-flop, so he's doing what some of these journals are doing. Players with chips on their shoulders are the best players. Facts, man. DG, I'm starting to get worried. We're moving like snails in that we just sold our best player. Are we overdoing it, Hamid? But no quality signings. We delay things and start to panic, then end up signing Garnacho on deadline day. I can't guarantee anything, but I can guarantee we don't sign Garnacho. Again, I hear the concerns, but all I would say for me... Why you still... I don't know. One, I don't know what Arteta and Berta are doing. I'll reserve crashing out and getting in my feelings until the window's closed, because God forbid we don't sign the players I believe take us to the next level, or we don't sign any players at all. When deadline day comes, there's nothing you can do about it. You still got time. So, yeah, man. Can we get some likes, gang? Appreciate you, Hugh, for that one. The British press are the British press. It's sad that at the point where you just kind of accept it. I think Tzolis might finally be the signing that we discovered early. I wouldn't mind us doing that. DG Fabrizio hinting Bacola's going Liverpool. What a signing that would be for Liverpool. And again, I want Bacola. I want Morgan Rogers. I want Bruno Guimaraes. This one, that one. It's not Lionel Messi. As talented as they are, they're not Lionel Messi. If you don't get them, it's disappointing. Just make sure. Obviously, I mentioned Bacola. There's a left winger we believe in. I mentioned Bruno Guimaraes. There's a central midfielder we believe in. When Morgan Rogers is concerned, there's a versatile difference maker I believe in. If you can't get the names, great. Just make sure I believe that we've added certain level raises to our starting 11, and I feel a lot more comfortable with our squad. I know last year it was more of a squad thing, but let's have it right. Despite, if there's one concern, and logical but illogical concern I have, it's naturally the amount of minutes we've played. I think us and Barcelona have the most players at the World Cup. We all know going into this World Cup, Saka weren't really fit. Rice has been ran ragged. Saliba and Gabriel have to wrap in cotton wool. Kai Havertz as well. I don't want injuries to shag us before we've even got a lift off, man. If Tzolis is the Trossard replacement, is Rodgers the Martinelli replacement? No, because Rodgers ain't an out-and-out left winger. Fair enough if you get this Tzolis guy, but I think you need to keep Martinelli's pace, if I'm honest with you, at least for another year, especially if you're not going to rise up a Bacola. If I were a wavy ball, I would not want to play for Arteta. We're still running that old chestnut. So we'll go for us and Eze and etc. etc. Our window should be like this, in my opinion. Tzolis for Trossard, plus Rodgers for Martinelli, Bruno for Norgard, plus Krupi to replace Havertz, plus an offensive right back to replace White. PSG basically said they don't want to strengthen Arsenal. They're shook of us now. Well, if you want to pay, I can't lie. You've got to pay top dollar for these players, really and truly. There's obviously market opportunities and some exceptions to the rule. They're saying 100 million for Bacola. What are you lot saying? 65, 75, 80, that might get you Bruno Guimaraes. What are you saying? Morgan Rogers, I definitely don't feel Aston Villa are asking for 130. They are going to have elements of pricing him out, and you are going to have to pay 100+ million. What are you saying? And if you're not saying that you're on that, go and find other players. But again, make sure when the window closes, we've got the players we believe in, that A, we can retain this Premier League, and two, I think in the Champions League, especially where it gets to the latter stages, we need to arrive in a good moment. People need to be fit. People need to be in good form, but we need difference makers. We've got a good team. We don't really have difference makers in abundance. That's the next step, if I'm honest. So would we have Rodgers, Eze, Odegaard as 10s? They can all play in a bunch of roles. I'd actually love us to get Rodgers, Eze, and Odegaard on the same pitch, man. I'd go to Villa with cash plus players to get Rodgers. What players, though? Maybe if you still had Trossard, they might be entertained to the Trossard thing. What players? Because really, if I'm Aston Villa, yeah, I'll take a Wanyeri. Who else are you going for? Not the players you want to leave necessarily. You get where I'm going. You're not Martinelli. You might be able to do the Emre link. I don't think we should depart with Martinelli for at least a year. He's a tool in the toolbox. MLS. CS, get out of it. MLS. Nah, G. MLS is firmly part of this plan. So we can finally shut up about midfield. If you do get Bruno, you have got MLS, you have got Zubamendi, you have got Declan Rice, and then you've got your Eze's, in theory, your Morgan Rogers, your Odegaards, Kai Havertz, Marino, people that can help us along a season. Ethan, I hear it. I don't want it, but I could hear it if it's a necessary evil. It might knock some prices off the wage bill, off the price tag and whatnot. Lewis Skelly. Get out of here with that, man. You guys need Bruno, Rogers, Tzolis, and Wan-Bissaka. I wouldn't say we need Wan-Bissaka. He'd be a good addition. I think we need Bruno. I love Rogers. Tzolis, I actually am quite excited about that signing, man. 130 mil is a lot less than the blow of MLS. I can't lie. Forget about that. CS, you're bugging now. MLS is part of these plans, bro. Like, why cut off your nose to smite your face? Miles Lewis Skelly. There must be a next MLS in the Arsenal squad. It could never be Miles Lewis Skelly. It can't be. It can't be. You're chatting shit. You're my guy, but you're chatting shit. That's a terrible shout. Lewis Skelly central to these plans. He goes nowhere, fella. He goes nowhere, man. Absolute bugging out. And I can't lie. I'd rather us just reach an agreement for 100 odd million quid, really. Because if we're still running 90 million, if we're still, 1 year is probably valued at 50 odd million quid, and you're gonna give them 90. No, I did that. Then you gotta be 75, 80 for Morgan Rogers, and I might throw in a 1 year and we can call it quits. Can't lie, you'd be terrible at negotiations. I can't cap to you. On the topic of Tzolis, people, before we get into the transfer news, I've got a video coming out scouting him. I did a video with Matisse earlier today as well, people. Make sure you check that out. I think that's out at 5. What's this? And I will be here at 7:50, 10 minutes before kickoff. We will be watching France versus Spain together, people. Noni for Rogers. I'd throw in Noni if you could, but it's probably unrealistic to think with a year he's gone. I think he's had a decent World Cup, but as you've seen in the latter stages, you can't depend on these guys. And I'm accepting of Noni Madueke. You're a squad player, but he needs to be the last one of those kind of players, if that makes sense. Especially in attack where there's several different questions, man. I'm sorry, but get Noni out of here. Ethan is way better. The only thing I would say Noni Madueke's defense against Ethan is I would rather Saka, obviously doing his bits. For me, Max Dowman and Ethan are second in command, heavy on the Max Dowman at right wing, but Madueke is significantly more experienced, understands his role. Probably less of a pressing need for him to get football. It's more of an out-and-out wide option than Wanyeri. If it's up to me, Wanyeri be getting opportunities. Unfortunately, with Wanyeri, the pathway's blocked. Right wing's blocked. The 10's blocked. The cam's blocked. To be fair, I've advocated a lot of the times, like a number of you, Wanyeri, Max Dowman, owing to what we've seen in the last, well, where Wanyeri's concerned, probably the last 2 years, surely could get some minutes playing as a left winger. Bacola to Liverpool going to be announced, so that leaves Arsenal, City and Bayern for Vinny. You man still believe we could get Vinny Jr.? 4 more seasons of Noni. Can't sell Noni, Ethan, Max, because Saka's fitness not trustworthy yet. About to go back to work, DG. A's up till he frees up. Tell him again. Next season, we have to run some nasty agendas for Spurs after their spending, especially United fans talking about 21. Smash the likes. Facts, and more facts. Noni plus cash deals. I can't lie. If Aston Villa said, I like the look of Noni Madueke, what are you lot saying? I'm on that, but I very much doubt they're going to do that. I very much doubt Noni wants to go anywhere, if I'm completely honest. We just signed the best winger on the market, Lisa Bum. Now, if only the men could move like the women. I can't lie. I'm starting to feed myself. Not agenda, but I wouldn't mind taking a punt on Antonio Nusa, if I'm brutally honest, man. Vinny not an Arteta player, bro. You're going to have to shatter your wage structure, man. Absolutely. Until Vinny signs a Real Madrid extension, we should campaign for the best. I hear you, but dream chasing. I'd sell Havertz, massive wage, injury prone, and doesn't score enough. Can't lie. Havertz, I need you for next season, if I'm honest. Ethan can provide cover for both Odegaard and Saka. Noni represents insufficient cover. Unfortunately, not his fault. I disagree with that. Like we're allowed to not rate Noni Madueke, but insufficient cover. He's definitely Tuchel and Arteta would argue that you're chatting nonsense there. If I'm brutally honest with you, and if I'm honest, Wanyeri needs to get minutes, but we're trying to win another league title, bro. Eze, Odegaard, Rogers, you man are commanding. Wanyeri getting where you fit in. It'd be interesting pre-season for Wanyeri because I think the writing's on the wall, but that might save you. There's a lot of players that are not going to be available. You take your chance in pre-season, who knows? Obviously, Arsenal might get offers on the table for Wanyeri, but we don't know when every player is coming back. So one wonders, is he going to be here for the start of the season? And if he is, might get an opportunity, man, but he does need to go play football. Where Trossard's concerned, Besiktas, if you go on their official website as well, people, they have signed Leandro Trossard, 31 from Arsenal, 20 million euros package. He's traveling to Istanbul now, so he's more or less their player, and hopefully there's no copyright. Let's turn down the music. but you can see it there, innit? Farewell, Trossard, man. Besiktas kit is quite nice, isn't it? So yeah, Trossard's gone, and Arsenal have confirmed it as well. Terms agreed with Besiktas for Trossard transfer. We can confirm that we have reached an agreement with Besiktas for the permanent transfer of Leandro Trossard. What's this? What's YouTube saying? Fair play. Anyways, we can confirm that we have reached an agreement with Besiktas for the permanent transfer of Leandro Trossard. With a transfer fee agreed, Leo, 31, has been granted permission to travel to Istanbul. I don't know why I said Istanbul. To undergo a medical and complete the formalities of his move to the Turkish Superliga club. We will provide a further update once the transfer has been completed. Now, obviously, we've seen that has been the case. It's been completed, people. He had a good World Cup. Most chances created from open play at a single World Cup tournament since 2018. Trossard created 17 in this year's edition. So that ties in with Lionel Messi, and it's 2 in front of Kevin De Bruyne and 3 in front of Neymar. So you're doing all right in any statistic if you're near them. Allegedly, according to The Athletic, Arsenal and Newcastle are now in direct talks over Bruno Guimaraes. So let's see the article that they posted where the deal sheet's concerned. Naturally, we're going to skip to just Arsenal, people. What's this, though? David Ornstein's one to watch. For the second consecutive World Cup, Morocco caught the eye with a surge to the latter stages. By this tournament, a new name rose to the wider global prominence in the form of Ayoub Bouadi. The 18-year-old Lille midfielder was already well known by keen observers in Europe and beyond, with a host of top clubs monitoring his progress and determined to prize him away from the Liga side. However, the tournament served to confirm both his existing level and future potential, in turn cranking up the interest from those suitors. Arsenal, I need Bruno Guimaraes because we didn't get Tonali. Don't look like this. Don't sound like we're getting Bouadi. Bruno Guimaraes don't sign. Man, need to rise up Alex Scott or something, which is very different from the profile I think we need, but I'd have him regardless. Prominent among them are Manchester City. 10-time Premier League champions are pushing hard for Bouadi ahead of him making a decision on his future, which is expected soon. Leo would consider selling for what they deem the right price, though if the valuation is believed to be in the region of 100 million euros, say in brackets 85 million pounds, and it proves to be true, it will be prohibited to many admirers. City, Arsenal, Man United are some of the teams to have been in contact with Bouadi's camp over the past 12 months. PSG football advisor Luis Carlos brought him to Leo in 2021, but they are not a contender this summer. Leo have been waiting until he returns from the World Cup before sitting down to discuss all options, which includes him staying with them. While there are other clubs open to doing a deal now and allowing Bouadi to continue developing at Leo for another season, I think we need you. We need you as a body. We need you to compete. We need strong centre mid. So that's a myth for us. It's thought City would rather integrate him immediately, given that his area of the pitch remains a key focus for them in the current market. They've got bare centre mids though, City, in it, like what? Elliot Anderson, Rodri, Bouadi. They have lost a couple of players that can play there, but yeah, man. They've lost Bernardo Silva. They were linked with Tonali. Rangers could cut. Nico Gonzalez could cut. Rodri's got a year left on his deal, and do we reckon he departs on a free transfer back to Spain? Man United made a good signing in Yuri Telemans. Let's scroll and see where Arsenal's concerned, people. Arsenal completed the signing of former Leeds United goalkeeper Mikel Arteta, the 26-year-old who left Leeds when his contract expired at the end of June, has joined on a 2-year deal. With Arsenal holding an option for an extra year, Mikel is anticipated to be the third-choice goalkeeper in Arsenal's group behind David Raya and Kepa should he stay. I mean, by default you would, but Kepa's probably going to cut. If the 31-year-old Kepa is to leave, a fee will have to be negotiated with Arsenal. The contract he signed contained a 5 million release clause, enabling him to leave if a club matched the fee Arsenal paid to sign him from Chelsea. That clause has now expired. However, it's believed Arsenal will not stand in Kepa's way if an appropriate offer arrives. What is an appropriate offer? What's the plan behind pursuing Bruno Guimaraes? Smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't, folks. Arsenal have a long-standing interest in the 28-year-old Brazilian midfielder. The addition of the Premier League proven player of international caliber will strengthen Arsenal's already impressive options. Arsenal believe Guimaraes can be both a partner and backup to Declan Rice, given the lengths to which Rice's body has been pushed in the last 12 months. Having an experienced alternative could be valuable. Last season, Mikel Arteta was reluctant to use Norgard in high-stake games, or at all, really. There's a chance the former Danish international will leave this summer. Should that prove to be the case, effectively replacing him with Guimaraes would be a considerable step up in quality. No, he'd probably more be Partey's replacement. Let's be honest, in hindsight, probably wanted Partey to stay. Obviously, fate the Lord into off-the-field stuff. That didn't work. The next day, we woke up. Norgard was an easy transfer to get. As well as central midfield, Arsenal want to reinforce their attack with a significant addition. Morgan Rogers of Aston Villa appears to be their top target, but Aston Villa are looking for a fee in excess of 116 mil. Get some out, guys. Slap 120 and let's just call it a day, man. Bradley Bacola is of interest. In addition, it appears increasingly likely that Arsenal need a left winger to replace Trossard. They've established the parameters of a deal for 24-year-old Greece international Christos Tzolis of Club Brugge, but now must determine whether they proceed with the transfer. So what's the cold feet? Arsenal have also been looking at versatile defenders who can offer options across multiple positions. They called me a madman for crying about a centre mid and a versatile defender. You're not laughing anymore, are you? Shouldn't have sold Trossard, to be honest. I wasn't here from the start. Have you mentioned Hand of Arsenal's tweet? Has there been another one? Update me. 3 or 4 million I'd take for Kepa. Big up DJ. Alvarez has turned down Arsenal move as reports on X from Transfer News. We're still holding our hands for Alvarez, who's made it clear, like, I want Barcelona. I don't know. Rogers as a Swiss Army knife. Great plays, a bit everywhere, fights for a spot. Cool. We've to act faster. We've been linked with Bawardi before the World Cup. Would it have been so bad if we signed him before the World Cup? I swear we don't help ourselves. I feel great about Tzolis in, draw out, but I'm not sold with Rogers as a star left winger. Doué, Vinicius, Carrot Skiller is that extra tier or two above. Trossard numbers are going to be hard to replace. 20 goal involvements last year. That I agree with. Nusa with Prem development, I see a scary vision. I'll take a chance. If rumors are true, they're saying 50, 60 million euros, which Leipzig are difficult to deal with. I'm on that. I'm on that. I think I've seen enough. I'd rather that, really and truly, especially because it seems like an easier deal to do. Trossard defo done his job, man. Where are the signings? Arsenal, hey, we've signed Hincapié, we signed Millier. And have you not seen our women? We signed plenty of players. Tranquillo. I really hope we do some serious business in the market, says BG, to enhance our chances of retaining the PL and to be a genuine contender for the UCL. You guys seen Tzolis stats? They are off the scale. Could be a masterstroke, provided the exchange rate from the Belgium league to the Prem, or at least, a percentage of that. Don Trossard, what a spell he had with us at Arsenal. Came, scored some really important goals for us, helped build a mentality, and in his last season started strong, fell off a bit and came up trumps when needed. He's gone out at the perfect time and on his Shield legend. Facts, bro. The way you summed it up, I can't add anything. Man, I'm saying Gnabry in 2026. Come on, man. Vinny would pull a hammy with Arteta as a manager, in my opinion. Well, you got Jose, and if you think you can't run under Jose Mourinho, crazy. Hand of Arsenal is going to give an update on transfer targets. He feels some fans aren't coping well the transfer window. I'd say to fans, pull your pants up. Big up Hand of Arsenal, though. Trossard is closest to the exit with Belgium out of the World Cup. He has now verbally agreed to join Besiktas. Obviously, that's accelerated now to official confirmation. The parties have reached an agreement on a 3-year deal with an option of a 4th. So money left on your shield, as somebody said. Financial security, more of a prominent role. We got a decent fee, which, to be fair, is one of our better sales by default in recent years. Quote unquote, everyone's happy. Of course, additions, people. The 31-year-old took some time to consider whether the move to Turkey and Istanbul was right for him and his family, but has ultimately given his approval. An agreement is already in place between Besiktas and Arsenal. The arrival of Millier frees up 20-year-old goalkeeper Tommy Setford for a loan move to gain some experience. Again, you don't know how keen I am on that. No one don't care about Chelsea. Thank the Lord that we're not being linked with Garnacho. Let me stay humble. Chelsea do not have a policy that rules out selling a player to any particular club, as shown by Kai Havertz, Noni, and Kepa joining Arsenal. Okay. I'm only scrolling this just in case there's... See, look, they have not ended their pursuit of Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers, but there's an acceptance that Aston Villa's asking price is an issue and that they face stiff competition from other teams, especially Arsenal. That's why I like to scroll and see the others. Anyone have a Nicholas Jackson? No, I'm just trying to piss you lot off. What's this with Liverpool? Anything here? PSG's Bradley Bacola is admired and Liverpool are continuing to monitor the situation. It feels like they're the most likely to get Bacola, if I'm completely honest with you. Manchester City, just spending money in every transfer window. We've gone over the Bawardi stuff. Bawardi would be cold. Kovacic, James Trafford and Nico Gonzalez are considered likely departures. City ain't going to sell to us, but I'd take Kovacic for a year or so. Ruben Diaz has interest from Real Madrid. I can't believe Calvin Phillips and Grealish are still there. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. Man United, they're doing their thing. Chouameni's not leaving. We love Alex Scott. Sander Berge, I don't like you. Personal reasons. Newcastle, okay. Newcastle having a tough transfer window again, innit? What's this? Confirmation of that incoming came less than 24 hours after the Athletic broke the news that Guimaraes, their talisman, their skipper, had informed Newcastle of his wish to move to Arsenal, the Premier League champions. Newcastle say Arsenal have not directly made an offer for the 28-year-old, and whether they will get anywhere close to Newcastle's valuation of their most important player remains questionable, with Newcastle simply unsure how real the North Londoners' interest actually is. Regardless of the ongoing uncertainty surrounding Guimaraes' situation, is certainly not aiding Eddie Howe's pre-season preparations, which begin at the club's Benton Training Centre. Okay, that's cool for them. And then obviously not getting Benabi because he's going to Aston Villa. Just trying to scroll and see if there's anything else. Okay. Newcastle insists Guimaraes is not for sale, though whether Arsenal seriously test that result by making a sizable offer remains to be seen. No one gives a crap about Tottenham Hotspur. Barcelona, is there anything here? Ferran Torres has been linked with us, predictable. He's got a year left on his contract. We're always linked with him. We need attackers and whatnot. My boy Karim Adeyemi playing for Barcelona. They all laughed at me. They're not laughing now, I'll tell you that. The situation around Torres is different. However, the 25-year-old is out of contract next summer. Barcelona are reluctant to renew his contract right now, in no small part because it would force them to pay Manchester City another 7 to 8 million euros. Barcelona's main transfer target remains the signing of a new number 9. Their interest in Atletico Madrid's Julian Alvarez is expected to advance following the World Cup, where Alvarez and Argentina have progressed to a semi-final with England on Wednesday. So it does feel like we're holding fire and seeing everything that, like all the kind of plays. But for me, if you want Guimaraes, pay the money. If you want Rodgers, pay the money. If not, let's fuck off and find other targets. Julian Alvarez, if there was dominoes that fall that allow us to genuinely get him and there's willingness, great. The man wants Barcelona. Let's just move on, park striker stuff off for next summer, really. Unless you're going to go and get Krupi, or unless there's a Tzolis or an emerging kind of talent, man. The Julian Alvarez thing, it just... I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm snooty, but what's the point waiting for players that are not 100% convinced? What is this? Newcastle are standing firm in their stance that Guimaraes and Lewis Hall are not available. United are keen on Lewis Hall. We obviously like Guimaraes. We know Anthony Gordon, Sandro Tonali departed Newcastle. Isak departed last summer. So yeah, people, everybody's just going to say the same things. And you know what? Joe Willock and Jacob Murphy need to be moved on. They're just regurgitating the same things. Continuing with the Alvarez stuff, Barcelona's offer for Julian Alvarez has an expiry date and will remain on the table until the end of July, which is in a couple of weeks. The club are waiting for Julian to return and speak with Atletico Madrid in an attempt to unlock the situation. Barcelona believe their proposal is already very strong and have little intention of improving it further. What do we make of that, people? Where Tzolis is concerned, Arsenal have contacted Club Brugge regarding his transfer. Arsenal and Club Brugge had their first contact regarding, you know, my man, the Gunners. The Greek is one of the alternatives for the departure in Leandro Trossard. However, there's no concrete offer. So maybe we're waiting because, you know, he wants us and we've done everything and we're trying to assess the market. But it's just telling us what we already know, that this won't be an issue. We have been linked with Morgan Rodgers and Kenan Yildiz. Juventus are going to make it very difficult, as are Aston Villa, where Morgan Rodgers is concerned. Tzolis had interest from Crystal Palace. And to be fair, if he went to Crystal Palace and done a mad thing, everyone would be like, oh, where do they find these kind of players? Trossard's agent said Besiktas did everything they could to sign Trossard. However, no decision has been made yet. He has all the offers on the table, including staying at Arsenal. Will make his decision soon. Now, obviously, that was 24 hours ago. Thank you very much for what you did, Trossard. Where's Hand of Arsenal? Because you lot mentioned him. Big up Hand of Arsenal. Where are you? Trossard's confirmed. Arsenal Football Club will still announce that. We've seen that part. It also seems the fan base are not dealing with the noise of the transfer window well. I'll aim to post somewhat of an update on where we are with some deals. Come on, let's do this. And again, apparently Arsenal believe Guimaraes can be both a partner and backup to rest, but we just saw this. Arsenal have made official initial contact with Club Brugge to explore the possibility of a deal this summer for Christos Tzolis. More updates to come, says Sasha Travanoli, who's a Belgian-based journalist. But as of today, the Gunners have not yet submitted an official offer. For all the talk around talking to Rodgers' advisors, Tzolis advisors, Guimaraes, and verbal offers, nothing official has landed on the desk of any of these clubs. So I don't know, people. Atletico Madrid have made it clear to Julian Alvarez camp they are prepared to sanction a move to Arsenal this summer. However, Barcelona remains the player's preferred destination. Berra has held direct talks with Alvarez. It's understood that he'd be open to the prospect of moving to the Premier League. It is that willingness which continues to encourage Arsenal. I mean, give it a rest, man. We've gone over the Kepa stuff. We've gone over how we're looking for a versatile defender. We've gone over that. we've gone over. Let's close that, man, because tab police are on me. What's this? And this is the, like I said earlier, this is what's concerning me, man. Like, Arsenal players have recorded the second highest total minutes of any Premier League club at the 2026 World Cup. So it is something to watch. Romano, we've spoken about that, and obviously we're saying the same things. Bawardi would be amazing at the club, but that's a myth. We were once upon a time linked with Somerville, and apparently his agents met with Roma's executives this morning. They were informed that I guess Roma will only pursue a deal for the West Ham winger if the total transfer fee does not exceed 40 million euros and the player's salary is capped by 4 million per year. I mean, you got to go somewhere else then if you want to get rich. And Romano did, reply to his own tweet where he said Bradley Bacola's situation remains absolutely open as he's high on Liverpool's list, as reported for months. He then, I don't know whether Romano's doing the engagement thing, but he put the eyes up and obviously the French flag. So I don't know if it's just engagement, hype or whatnot, but yeah, if you're a United fan, Telemans has completed his medical. If you're an Arsenal fan, obviously further confirmation there that Trossard, fair play, man, farewell, better yet, do your thing. Ferran Torres, predictable, isn't it? Us and Spurs allegedly are in the race. Arsenal exploring the market for attacking reinforcements. I don't want it, but I could actually see, not that I could see Berta and Arteta going for you, but the Ferran Torres thing, it makes sense to us. I could see Arteta utilizing you. Do I think we need you? Do I think you're a difference maker? No. He's got a year left on his contract. Leave him to the spuds, man. Leave him to the spuds. This could all just be creative journalism. Allegedly, Arteta has made it clear he wants Kepa to stay at the Emirates. Kepa wants to depart. Obviously, the release clause has expired. So we're at that point where everybody just kind of saying the same things, man, in different ways. We've seen that. What's this? Fresh Bruno update. He's not for sale. BBC understands Arsenal pushing hard to sign Guimaraes after London midfielders told Newcastle he wants to leave. That came after an early report from the same outlet claimed Arsenal had expressed a willingness via his reps to sign him for 60 million quid. BBC Sport also understands Newcastle have had no official contact from Arsenal regarding Guimaraes, with the Magpies unwilling to sanction a sale. The Chronicle understands Newcastle officials are annoyed over the speculation, claiming a certain figure will be enough for Arsenal to land Guimaraes. The same publication claimed the St James's Park club have placed no valuation on Guimaraes, who has 2 years left on his contract despite his desire to leave the club. So at this point, it's whatever you want to read. We'd rather Bueno or Simeone over Ferran. Pardon me, I'd rather Bueno. Simeone and Ferran just go, scouts just go do your jobs, man. Charles watched yesterday saying Wanyeri will stay. I hope so, but bro, I have to wait till the windows close. Whoever comes in, comes in. Whoever goes, goes, because it's a sense. I know they all got informed sources, but one day they're all saying different things, and even the most credible journalists, they've made out certain things are going on. Spanners in the works, man. For me, Tzolis looks like a playmaker winger, like Elise. Tzolis coming from a proper footballing club, which is great. Didn't get stuck at Olympiacos type situation. I feel we are being used in the Alvarez deal. If we're being used, we're using ourselves. My hot take, with no, obviously just an armchair fan, I think we're more likely to pay a lot more than Barcelona for Julian Alvarez. I think Atletico Madrid would rather sell him abroad. But my man's got his heart set on staying in Spain and playing for Barcelona. You could imagine Messi's probably, on top of him wanting to join them anyways, Messi's probably there gassing him. Stay away from it. Obviously, if Barcelona walk away and he still is adamant, I've burned all bridges, I don't really care about the staying in Spain thing, I'm on leaving, then cool, throw your hat in the ring, innit? But I don't think we're being used, if I'm honest. If we're being used, we're being used off our own back. Big up the Twitch gang. Make sure you subscribe with Amazon Prime. This time last year, we already had Noni and Zubamendi. I don't know what we're doing this year. To be fair, people were gassed about Zubi. There was a lot of us that were up in arms about Noni, and there was some of us taking it too far, doing the petition stuff. But fans were still mad. Fans were still mad. They didn't care about that at the time because Eze looked like he was going Spurs. Gyökeres this and that. I hear it, man. We need to get a move on, man. I can see us getting Bruno and Rodgers. I hope you're right. I'm pessimistic on both. I could only fathom one. I don't know, though, man. So sad on Trossard, boss, man, leaving. It has to happen. If you want the best players, then you have to pay the big bucks. That's how it is. If they didn't waste money on duds in the past windows, maybe we could have got Bruno Guimaraes in earlier. If Newcastle won 100 million, say you only pay 20 mil a season, they will let him. If he stays, he will go for substantially next year. They're pricing him out of a move, so you have to make it difficult. They didn't want to sell Isaac. They made it happen. West Ham didn't want to sell Rice. We made it happen. Arsenal aren't signing Vinny. They won't pay his wages. But Cole is valued at 150 million euros by PSG. Are you paying that money for him? No. Why do Arsenal always do this? Didn't get Cavra on the cheap. Now going for Tzolis, who isn't a level raiser. Now go get Bacola. In your heart of hearts, is Bacola a level raiser? potential-wise, yeah, if we could iron out the rashness in his play and the things that need improving, yes. But if he signed today, I think you lot are chatting shit if you're saying Bakola's a level raiser. Very talented lad. If you could realize his potential, be one of the best left wingers. But, and I'm not here to debate whether Martinelli, Madueke, or Bacola are better. You're chatting shit to me if you can tell me bare times you've been moved by Bacola in 90 minutes. The game, when the games are open, he's in his own world. When the game is obviously low blocks inside, he struggles. He's obviously got a lot of tools. I'm actually having him. But this is what I mean by when, I'm not saying you or direct to you, when Arsenal fans start overrating players, when you take a player that's very talented, you entice yourselves in your mind that you need him. You start putting him on a platform. Ultimately, you lot are going to be the first ones to draw him out. If there's 3 actions to score a goal, typically he does 2 of the 3 well. Should have bagged against us. Enough goals he should have bagged for France. Very talented player. But, yeah, I think I've said my piece there. At the point of entry into Arsenal, no one can convince me Bacola is a level raiser. In hindsight, it could be. And in time to come, it could be. And he's one of those players. The same goes for Nelly. The same goes for Martinelli. The same goes for Rashford. The same goes for Leao. You're at that stage where if the penny drops, Bob's your uncle. You're top class. You're world class. You're in certain conversations. If not, I promise you, from now to the end of your career, you're going to play like this. Regardless of if you have purple patches or whatnot, this is what you're going to be like. In my 31 years, I've seen many a footballer like this, and I'll see many a footballer after. But we're chatting shit if we're saying Bacola's a level. I'm talking about he signs today, he goes into training tomorrow. He's not a level raiser. Maybe by default, because cool, he's better than Martinelli, but in your heart of hearts, you know you're capping. You know you're capping. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. We didn't learn anything from last season, did we? Let Berta cook. The problem I would have is if we didn't sign Bruno, is none of the replacements are better. I hear it, you know. Over 200 in here, but only a little over 50 likes. What gives people? Hit the likes, subscribe button if you haven't. You know what? I only want to talk. That's a good thing. I've been very poor putting in subscribers mode, man. It's a family over here. So if you're not subscribed, I can't lie, you're not taking part in the conversation anymore, man. It's a family thing. So yeah, let's close the borders. Just on X going nuts over Trossard. Wouldn't you? To be fair, if you're Besiktas, you'd be. If I was Besiktas fan, I'd be gassed. Do you know what? There must be a Turkish Arsenal fan who Besiktas is your club, Arsenal your club. It's a non-story for you with Trossard, in it, really and truly, and it'd be interesting. I obviously don't rate my man because of the off-field stuff, but Fenerbahce, Greenwood's there, Trossard's gone Besiktas. Obviously, Gala have a number of players, specifically Osimhen. So yeah, Bacola to Paul makes sense. Go enjoy football. I wonder how Rio and Gomoa feels. Big up DJ in the chat. Need to sign a proper left winger for me. Go get Bacola or Vinny to be an upgrade on Trossard. Tzolis isn't much of an upgrade. Riley, one love, man. Ain't going to do that key ball through the middle like Odegaard will dictate tempo. He's a star potential player, but he's got a lot to prove to start for us. I just really like Morgan Rogers. Like, I really want him. And I like him as a footballer. I like footballers that I like to play for my club, man. I can't lie. It sounds mad, but sign Rogers, figure it out later. Big up yourself, EJ, man. Excellent value for Besiktas to get a Belgium international PL winner, won the best league in the world, top signing. Tzolis and Bacola left wing, Rogers 8-10, Alvarez striker, then we'll be happy. I'd be happy if that will happen, bro. I can't lie. We paid 53 million for Zubi, 55 for Gyökeres by being patient. Why do people always want to jump the gun and overpay? Let Berta cook. I prefer a more traditional left-wing profile like Yildiz and Nusa over Rogers. I hear that in that position. I want Rogers, but I see him more as a midfielder than a winger. I agree with that. Bacola ain't it, just a faster Madueke. Again, I know it couldn't happen, but last year, if there was an opportunity to sign Bacola, I'd have said, fuck the Madueke thing, sign him. But you've got too many of those. We've got too many questions in our attack. You've got players like Gyökeres and Eze. It's more, can we see greater consistency? You know, Saka, can we get back to your best? Then you've had a Martinelli where it will shock you and not shock you if he has a good goal return or doesn't have a good return. Madueke the same. Obviously, we know what we're getting from Max, but he's young. So for me, I don't know every player is going to provide this. If I'd be gassed about Bacola, but it is going to provide uncertainty. Rogers, really and truly, the left wing thing is not going to be it long term, if I'm really honest. For me, we're just adding more. I know every signing is uncertainty and a risk, but we're just adding more and more uncertainty. And I need my attacking players to show consistency, be in great form, and just, I believe in you lot to the same way I believe in my defense and all the defensive ethos of what we're doing, man. Nah, Bacola's a good player, man, but There's a lot to work on, bro. Like, there's a lot, and it's not me attacking him. It's you lot will get him when he beats, like, the runs, like, he's made the run, he's onside, someone slipped it in. The first touch is very good. It's the game's on knife edge. You know, he's going near post when he needs to go far post, far when he goes near. You lot be the first to draw him out. You lot be the first. It's just like with Gyökeres. I told you, lot, Gyökeres is a very good signing, but don't fall for the. There's so many factors that are at play with Gyökeres. Eze the same. I feel a lot of people watch football. They don't actually watch football. I'll be brutally honest. Alvarez is basically friend zoned us. Spot on with the Bacola breakdown. I'm having him, bro. Big up the mods, man. Uzo, I'm not paying 150 million for Bacola. They're taking a piss. They're just clearly trying to price him out of a move. They will sell him for less next year if he still don't sign a new deal. Bruno Guimarães is different, but the same in that, okay, we've lost some key players. It's been peak for us in the transfer market. Bruno, I beg you, give us one more year. We'll sell you for a lot less than whatever the asking price is now. We see this all the time. We literally have the scout who signed KK who wants Tzolis. People don't care about. People just want sexy stuff. I want sexy signings, big dog signings, gassed and whatnot, but we need the right ones. I'm not saying Tzolis is going to be Mo Salah, but I very much doubt that every Liverpool fan was licking their lips and mad gas when they got Mo Salah. There was probably Chelsea flop stuff. It's fair to say the language around that has changed now, isn't it? So we need the right player. So on one hand, I'm actually for, okay, to me as a neutral fan, or not even neutral, that's the wrong word, as an armchair expert, I don't really see value for market. Scouts do your jobs. Cool, I can't tell you how good this player is in that, but I'd rather you do that. Equally, I do think we're in a position where we need to start flexing our muscles. I do think we're in the position where we need to start spending on some of these established Premier League names. And I know they weren't all signed at the same time, but again, I do agree with, I think somebody said it in the comments, 65 for Kai Havertz, 50 from Noni Madueke. I don't think he's in these same realms, but 30 on a Marino. There's a couple of other examples. You add that fee together, bro. That could have, I know it's not the same, but that might get you Guimaraes. That might get you so much things. That might get you certain players in it, really. Should have got Turkey last summer. But hey, man, it is what it is. Bygones and all that kind of crap. City spending 800 million in 2.5 seasons and we're worried about 116 mil. Arsenal might have left it too late. They should have dropped the bag on Bruno Guimaraes earlier. Calm down, man. Calm down. Tzolis needs to work on his dribbling skills. Olu, show him then. Show us. Show us. If I was Tzolis, I'd say come on the channel and show us your skills, mate. Bruno is going to Arsenal, yes or no, bro? I don't know. How do I know? I'm with you, lot. I don't know. I hope so. LOLODW. Most of our champion squad weren't elite ballers. Raya, Saliba, Rice, Timber. Rice, I disagree. Timber, I disagree. Top table ballers aren't always it or need to be. Great job for Besiktas, says Stuart Bell. Prem player for the price tag of an academy player. Wish him well. Got a lot of important goals for us. Come on the Arsenal facts. Not going to lie, Saka cooked in the last England game. Makes me question what's being said behind closed doors at the Emirates. What do you mean? He's clearly not fit and his minutes have to be managed. I don't know the word. They just have to manage his minutes. Noosa will frustrate the life out of our fan base. Sorry, but that's a hard no. Noosa would. Bacola would. They all would. They all would. But he'd be a lot less. How is Roger? And to be honest, fuck if they frustrate the fans, bro. Like, it's iron out the stuff out of your game. How is Rogers our certainty at left wing? He's a 10. You'd have to speak to the gaffer. To be fair, we actually haven't heard anything. We might just be, okay, he's played off the left. You name Arsenal's strongest 11. That seems to be his inroad. I want Rodgers because I see no reason why you can't play as a false 9 on occasion. Not saying I want it. I see no reason why you couldn't actually play as a 10 or an 8. Obviously, I think your in the team is going to be left wing. I'd love to somehow get Odegaard, Eze, and you on the pitch, but I actually think sooner rather than later, you would make that 10 role your own. And one thing that, and I keep saying it where I look at Rodgers, people forget he's played a fair amount of times for Aston Villa off that right-hand side. I'd rather that over Noni. Like, if it's not Saka and Wanyeri and Dauman, get where I'm going in it. Not a clue, man. Once Bacola starts popping for Liverpool, man, we'll start saying we should have got him. He's a baller, but if we get him, we get him. If we don't, we don't. Just make sure when the window's shut, left wing, centre mid, versatile defender, and everything else has been addressed, man. Paul have Munoz, Gakpo, Rio already on the left and 0 right wing, and they want Bacola. To be fair, Bacola could play off that, but it's evidently clear the left is his thing in it. Smash the likes if you haven't. Appreciate you lot. Rodgers ain't a 10. Rodgers can play in that 10 role. Like, or 8.5, whatever you want to call it. Are you really trying to tell me that midfield three, let's just say Rice, Guimaraes, Rodgers can't play that? It might not be as silky as Odegaard. Are you really trying to tell me that? Fair play. I'm not hating on your takes. I'm not hating. I'm still on you though for the Gyökeres slander. That's the one take I'm on you. Rice wasn't world class when we signed him, good but not elite. Top. Fair. Agent DG, I wish. Go get Jude Bellingham. Dream chasing. Hopefully with Emerson Wanyeri signing a new deal, it means Ethan is going to stay and be integrated back in the team. I mean, if his brother's staying, he might want to, but they're at two different stages in their careers. They might be brothers, but you've got to take your own career in it, if I'm honest. If we sign Alvarez, who are you getting rid of? Havertz or Gyökeres? Havertz, if I'm honest with you, because I've got Marino who can do that kind of Havertz stuff. Alvarez would be the number one, and I'd like the option of Gyökeres in our squad, if I'm honest. I want to keep hold of Kai for another year. I don't think Kai and Odegaard, all them rumours, dead. Tzolis is not a good dribbler of all. He can shoot and pass. Okay. So show us your dribbles. We are getting a 6 and an 8. They're waiting for Norgard to go now. You reckon we get a 6 and an 8 or somebody that can play both like Guimaraes? I like Emerson Wanyeri personally. It's always, I don't think it's abundantly clear you can make it at Arsenal, but yeah. Nelly Dro out, Vinny Tzolis in, Jesus out, Alvarez in, Norgard out, Bruno in, and add Rogers as a Swiss Army knife player everywhere. If only if it was that easy, innit, man? If only if it was that easy. We also need a right back, given that White and Timber have been injured last 2 seasons. Timber is obviously a starter, but we need solid cover and not to rely on Mascara. I want Muniz from Palace. He'd be nasty in our team, you know. He'd be a good little side. I did think he would depart at Crystal Palace. I actually thought he'd be en route Spain, man. Obviously, I'm just making teams up, but I could see you banging for a Barcelona or something like that. He'd be a very good option at us. But how much are they going to charge? But even that, scout them kind of man. All the players we're waffling about had to have been bought from somewhere. Bacola was at Lyon. Cherky was at Lyon. Like, Muniz was wherever he was. At least a couple of years ago was at Crystal Palace, etc., etc. You know, Krupi was at Lorient. Alex Scott was in the lower leagues, etc., 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 etc. DG, who are the upcoming guests on the channel? Matisse later today, you know. That should be out at 5 p.m. So, notification bells, all that kind of stuff, people. And you got nothing to miss, man. I'm trying. 82 likes. We surely can get 100 people. We surely can get 100. But with that being said, though, man, I'm a big believer of not wasting you lot's time. So, yeah, man, like we've done the chattings now, innit? Like, it's been a great 52 odd minutes. We've gone over the transfer news. Farewell to Trossard. Hopefully, we have a live stream where we've actually signed the player and there's something tangible. But for now, you lot, appreciate you lot giving up your time, joining the chat, all of those kind of things. Hope you and your loved ones are safe. Wishing you lot good health. Stay blessed, stay safe. Smash the like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bells. And we're out, man.